thoroughly have been looking at this for literally months. We've thoroughly checked out every one of her accusations that Jason and Christy had sent against her. We found them baseless. We did find no agreement with her assessment Jason had publicly sent commenting in this pulpit, nor with Christy on any of her actions. I want to be very clear. The eldership supports Jason Wilder and Christy, that whole family. He has never spoken an untruth from this pulpit.
The eldership supports Jason Wilder. Why do you support him so much that if it was a misunderstanding on my part, why would you deny us the ability to work it out in a meeting with you present? Why could we not talk it out like adults? And really, 25 pages of documentation is just all fabricated, really. That's just ridiculous because I was keeping a timeline of events, and some of it was text messages that I had with you. But going on, I referred to a single untruth that he had been ranting about on a Wednesday night Bible class about not policing each other. And on the surface, that sounds great, but, police are there to enforce, societal standards and the law and how everybody's supposed to get along and do things. And so in some sense, we are to police each other because we're to be iron sharpening iron. We're supposed to be a light to each other, walk in the light as, he is the light, all that stuff. That is real fellowship. It is not real fellowship to come to church and just say that God is love and God is grace, and then let everybody just continue to stumble and be on the path that's going to lead them to hell. No, that's not real fellowship. I will say, I don't think he was speaking from what was actually in his heart. So in a way, he was lying. But he didn't say anything scripturally inaccurate from the pulpit except for that one time that I can think of. So anyway.
We got back with Kate. We wanted to meet with her to discuss this. Okay. And we let her know that we did not agree with her findings. Okay. And we requested the meeting at 10 p.m. on Saturday night last week. And family let us know their intention of not being in fellowship with us. They were through fellowship at 10 p.m. Saturday. Okay. So we offered to meet, but she did not want to meet. Okay. What happened last Sunday morning, she came to invoke number 3, going to the church to present her plea and present or whatever. Sean and I met her in the hall, and that's what was going on. We were discussing with her that we will, so I'll give you the reasons why we did not go to step 3 to go to the congregation discussion. First, she withdrew her fellowship the night before. So Sunday morning, this is not her assembly. Second, we did not feel she had properly done step 2, that she did not have the evidence that we felt for what she felt against Jason and Christy.
They said to you, they had told me they didn't agree with my findings. And they actually didn't say that to me until after we removed ourselves from the fellowship. They only said that they felt they had already done enough investigating after I sent this on a Sunday morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. after I sent it, they said this to me. And, then they were not following Jesus' commands to take care of this in a certain way by saying, oh, well, we don't agree with you, so therefore you can't bring this to the assembly. That's not what Matthew 18 teaches, and I did say that to them. This is not Matthew 18. And I guess they just don't care what Jesus actually says, which is very obvious now, considering how everything has gone down. So when I realized that they thought they had not when I realized they had not reserved judgment and had already made up their minds about me, they had not said this, but I knew this already, given their unwillingness to let both parties meet with witnesses, and the fact that in a previous meeting that they called with another sister here at church, and the partiality and judgment that they had not reserved with her, they'd done the same thing here. I said there was no need for a meeting if the Wilders would not be there, because I have nothing further to say to the elders on the matter. And I said I'd be done with the matter, and I asked that they only be impartial and really consider everything. And this was in a text message to Steve. Steve told me that John and Lee insisted on having another meeting, that they felt like they had done all the investigating they needed to do. And then I asked him how he felt, because he used distancing language, like the other two elders feel like they have done enough. He said that he feels we do have to have a meeting because this has gotten out of hand and it's spreading all over the whole church and people are taking sides. So in order to, not have the baby split in half, we decided to leave, because our heart is not in it to split the church. But yeah, they didn't really tell you why we removed ourselves. They made it look like we removed ourselves because of some nefarious reason, is what it sounded like to me. Anyway, they would tell my parents a lot of lies and half-truths the following Thursday, trying to turn them against me. This is the Thursday after we left, which was in a text message on a Saturday night that they were accurate in, but that was a half-truth. Okay, the things which they would tell my parents would later be verified as false with documentation. I have documentation to prove that they were saying lies to my parents. One of the lies being that there had not, in fact, been gossip and splitting. I suppose someone seems to have gossiped to Mike Reese and turned him against me. And it wasn't me. And thank you, Steve, for insinuating I had talked with Mike and told him who was a part of all of this and why I was upset and whatnot. No. Mike Reese was abusing me that night in that conversation, telling me that I need to put up with the abuse. Life isn't fair. I'm being abused because they're jealous of me and all this stuff, but I have to put up with it. And I told him, no, I don't. No. And I did say, at some point he said I need to be merciful and have compassion. And I said, I'm choosing mercy and compassion, because if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, it would be like Jonah refusing to go to Nineveh. So I am choosing mercy and compassion.